There we go. Basically worked. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Andy Makes a Friend. This week, we're talking about masks, a new generation. From Magpie Games, a teen superhero game powered by the apocalypse. By Brendan Conway. So, I've got masks, and I've got I'm having a great day. Hold on. And I have two of the supplements printed here, or in print, soft cover. I have the third supplement, but when I bought it, it was only available in PDF, so I don't have the paperback. But I do intend to purchase it at some point. So, and both of these are the one is Unbound, and the other is Secrets of Aegis, Aegis, and that's like kind of the default settings shield. Thank you for all your support in chat. I am having a hard time, and thank goodness Soup is here for that. I'm not good at it. I don't know why I thought now would be a good time to demonstrate. And then Unbound, which is a setting supplement, and both of them have more playbooks. But what is Masks, you might ask, person who just started talking about this game? As I said, Masks is a teen superhero powered by the apocalypse role-playing game. The core conceit of Powered by the Apocalypse is you roll 2d6. I have my Masks 2d6 here. And you add a label to them. Those are like your stats. While performing a move, if you get, 6 under, you fail. 7 and 9, you succeed with a complication, and 10 through 12 is a critical success, I believe, is the number range. It's been a while since I've played a Powered by the Apocalypse game. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. We have played Masks once before on the stream. Once before on the Laughing Dragon Inn. We played a game called Young Outcasts. And we are going to be continuing that after 2 years, starting soon. So I wanted to kind of get reacquainted with the system. So I'm just kind of... I haven't done any prep for this. So this will be interesting. I just want to kind of go through a couple things. We're going to create not just a character, but a superhero team. And I don't know if we'll do that now or in a minute. So, one of the things that kind of sets this game apart from other superhero games is just a disaster over here. One of the things that sets this apart from something like Mutants and Masterminds, the Marvel Face Rip game. I think there's a new Marvel Cortex system game. The old D6 DC role playing game from West End. The thing that makes this game different is its focus on teen superheroes. You are playing a very specific kind of game with this system. You are playing Teen Titans, Young Justice, the Young Avengers, Spider-Man, X-Men, specifically teen superheroes. And with that, everything that comes with being a teen superhero. All of the drama, figuring out who you are. It's a lot of internal stuff and melodrama and all of that stuff. It's a very specific kind of comic and game. If you want to just be the Avengers and go save the world, you're not playing Masks. You have to be willing to commit to kind of this, you have a crush, and it being Peter Parker is hard. Sometimes harder than being Spider-Man. Batman doesn't have that problem. That's kind of a teen exclusive thing. It's not that Batman doesn't have secret identity problems, but he doesn't necessarily struggle with that stuff. He's rich. And it's a different kind of struggle. It's the lying to your parents. It's the trying to get out of high school. It's, you know, making sure your girlfriend isn't murdered by a Halloween man on a flying broomstick. That kind of stuff. The good stuff. So as I said, we had played this game before. We played the Young Outcasts, which consists of Marty playing Lilitu, Soup playing Rook, Liz playing Rat Princess, and Timothy playing the Zipper. And they are various playbooks. I won't be using any of those playbooks tonight when I create characters. But let's just kind of get into it. So let's start at the beginning. I love comic books. I am not a current reader of comic books, but they were very formational for me in my early teens. My childhood. My father read us comic books. And specifically, I remember this one Spider-Man comic he always read us with Speed Demon. Because my dad has a great collection of Amazing Spider-Man comics. He has issue 3, like up through, like one of the first appearances of the Hobgoblin. It's like up through like 100 or 150 or something like that. A complete run, starting with number 3, the first appearance of Doc Ock. Like, he's got that comic. It's not in great shape, but it's pretty rad. He doesn't have like Amazing Fantasy 15 or anything. Absolutely nuts. First appearance of Doc Ock's a pretty big deal, though. So my dad loved comic books. When he was a kid, he read them to us. Especially, he loved Spider-Man, and that stuff. And so when I kind of finally I had an allowance, I would go to the Walden Books, back when Walden Books was a thing, in the mall, and I'd go back to the spinner rack, and I'd buy whatever, 6-month-old comic books they had there, usually Spider-Man. Eventually, I got, kind of a decent allowance and a job, and, well, an allowance, and me and my friend his mom would drive us out to the local comic book store, which was like half an hour away, but, and we would start doing that. I would start buying comics and spending basically all my money on them. Although I did miss a step. Before I went with him, I would just give him money, and he would go buy me comic books. I would tell him what comic books I wanted, and he would come back with them. I'd check the Diamond Distributor website every week, and it's it was just a text listing at that point. And I'd scroll through and be like, okay, here are the Marvel books, here are the DC books. That sounds cool. I'll pick that up. And there was one time in class, we had Latin class together because we were cool. And my friend handed me, comic books come in brown paper bags always. Just these very generic, thin, brown, waxy paper bags. And my friend I kind of slipped him some money and he handed me the comics. Somebody turns around and they're like, are you buying drugs? And I'm like, yeah, I'm buying 8x11 sheets of acid. Like, no, I'm buying comic books from him. And I pulled out, Avengers or whatever with Ultron on the cover. And I'm sure they thought I was super cool. Anyway, and then I read comic books through my 20s when I was a poor college student and they became too expensive, so I stopped. But also by then, the Marvel movies were coming out, and I was like, these are rad. And, I kind of, it's comic books aren't, getting superhero fixes isn't the hardest thing to do anymore. I was also disillusioned with a lot of the stuff that was happening, and it's still happening. I check news occasionally. But anyway, I loved teen superheroes, especially, Robin, the Teen Titans, Young Justice, the Young Avengers, all that stuff, loved it. Spider-Man, although I prefer Spider-Man as an adult, but Ultimate Spider-Man was great. That was kind of my probably like the heyday of it was early that era was like when I was very comic book heavy. But anyway, so when I saw this when this RPG came out, I picked it up at PAX, I think. Or no, I was given this as a gift. Super excited for it, and I just freaking loved the idea of I get to create my own superhero universe. You know, I'm sure Triathlon was in that Avengers comic that I showed to the person to prove I was not buying acid. There, you happy, Marty? Fucking love Triathlon. I'm trying not to swear in this. Well, I am wanted to get it out of the way. Delroy Garrett is a cool superhero. He's underrated. Let's see. So I just ate up the chance to make my own superhero universe. And, most of these are just knockoffs of characters I like. I didn't put, like, the most thought into it. But I get to come up with funny, silly names or cool characters. And I get to build a superhero world with my friends. So there is, like, a very basic setting in these books. But they leave a lot of it up to you. I mean, there's kind of the iconic characters that are on the cover, but I don't even know if they get names in some of this stuff. I think they do, but like, it's like it takes place in Halcyon City. They tell you who like the first superhero is, and then it's kind of just like just make it up. Just make it up. Like that's to me the fun part, and I'm sure these books have more information on that kind of stuff, but. Again, one of the fun parts to me is world building. And, Liz, you want me to tell you all about Triathlon? I can, and I will. So yeah, like, I love world building in general. It's the character I create when I play role-playing games. Well, he becomes three. I mean, he didn't know he was stealing the powers of 3D Man originally. He thought a cult in the Triune Understanding was giving him superpowers. And he's 3 times as the peak athleticism of a person. So he's 3 times better than Captain America when you think about it. He joined a cult. He's not smart. But he figured out it was a cult, and then he remained an Avenger. Don't tempt me, Marty. I have less to say about Silverclaw, who was the other new Avenger of that era. Other than she's just Metal Tigra. Anyway. So I love world building in general. I get to do it with superheroes. I especially have started to like world building where it's just not quite traditional fantasy world building. So I loved world building for Stars Without Number, and I love world building with Star Wars, and I still love fantasy world building. But I do want it to just be like, just make it different than like the Forgotten Realms. It just not Lord of the Ringsy. Even if it's just, it's kind of piratey, or it's like the elves are like this way or whatever. I guess technically a character named Decathlon would be better, but Biathlon's just skiing and shooting. That's just the Black Racer, I guess. He's a DC character, though. Death on skis. Weird. Jack Kirby was a weirdo. Okay. So anyway. So yeah. Here's kind of... Let me pull this up so I can scroll. Here's the basic superhero stuff I wrote about. I created some of this stuff. The players created some of this stuff. Some of this stuff is from the book, but I don't think a lot of it is. So like I have like my Avengers or Justice League. They're called the Honor Guard. Oh, I gotta scroll over here. Some more adult heroes. Again, a lot of them are just it's Aquaman. You know, this is Aquaman. This is Punisher / Wolverine. But some of them are a little different. Like this Rex Reason, who is named after a real person. Rex Reason, he's kind of if James Bond was John Constantine. Yeah, so Teddy Roosevelt, Mummy Puncher, which is a joke I made a long time ago, and I try and stick him in wherever I can. And then here are like some of the characters Timothy created are Icanisloth. You will see that triathlon, which I spelled wrong, is mentioned in this document because he was the inspiration for Icanisloth. Triathlons, cool. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to just go through everybody and be like, this is why I'm funny. The prisons are Irongate and Innsmouth Institute for the Criminally Unwell. I did think that was funny. I will say, I thought that was funny. Okay, anyway, you can see I wrote a lot of crap down. Oh, there's some of Liz's. Cece's characters. There's another of Timothy's. Jean-Paul Sartre is a villain in our campaign based on a one-off line. Okay, yeah. So I should talk about the game at hand. Okay. So let's talk about this game. Let me open up the PDF so we can scroll through it slightly. Where are we looking? Here we go. The core book. Oh boy. I'm not looking at it on there. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so I've scrolled down a little bit. You can see moves and dice. Let's see. Oh, well, thank you, Marty. Marty in chat says it's a very well-built setting, Andrew. I really love it. I hope it is a good mix of ridiculous and serious. And I usually think I strike that balance okay. I mean, there's a villain named Captain Climber who's very good at climbing things. But then, you know, Bastion, who is the Superman Captain America, would be perfectly serious. But Blue Jay was perfectly serious. He's Nightwing, basically. What was the name of the villain you made up the other day? Did that make it into the doc yet? Oh, what was the... I made up the Puzzler the other day, but I don't think I shared that with anyone. There you go. What was the context, CC? Sorry, I'm trying to remember. My memory is for shit. So let's see. So some of the basic rules. Okay. The game revolves around moves. So let me flip over to this. You're not an adult, so you don't get any of these. Every player can use one of these basic moves. And then there's some... Sorry, CC. There's some of these that come up every once in a while. And then each playbook has their own moves. So let me pull up. So for instance, the Nova has these moves. They usually affect you rolling your stats. So when you do a move, you roll 2d6 and add whatever your label currently is. It was like you said that should be their name, and now you're going to make them a character in masks. Ooh, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Did I say it in a chat? This is riveting, I'm sure. Oh, it was Hal Copter. It was Harold Copter. I think he did make the list. Because in WandaVision, there is a background character named Harold Copter. And it was like, that has to be a supervillain, a shitty supervillain's name who's like, you know, helicopter based. I'm Harold Copter. Captain Copter or something. Anyway, so every move, like, every move is, oh boy, let me start over. Sorry. Every move you roll 2d6 plus a label. That label might have a negative score. You can see that over here. So, for instance, the Nova, when they're directly engaging a threat using your powers, you roll plus freak, which is rather high, instead of danger. Chat is helping, is talking about Harold Copter now. A little helicopter hat. Liz is asking if he has a little helicopter hat. And Marty has named him Hell-E-Copter, which I like. And I actually, I kept imagining he had like a helicopter pilot helmet, and then like the Inspector Gadget arms, and then like just giant helicopter blades coming out of his head. Like Ghost Rider, but for short range flights. Yeah, just laser beams out his eyes. Hellfire out of his face while he flies around. Okay. So that's the basic premise of the game. Is you have moves, you roll 2d6, you add, and then you kind of go from there. I would not say the game is both easy and complex. The rules aren't that complicated. I think the hard part is setting the tone, making sure the tone is consistent, making sure it feels like a teen-driven comic book, making sure your players are engaged, and kind of, playing with it so that it makes the system sing. Because the system is a lot different than what I'm used to jamming for. Dungeons and Dragons, it's just not the same as Dungeons and Dragons. You can't be like, I don't have anything this week. I throw like, a bullet and 4 goblins at them. It's fine. I mean, you can do that, but you have to kind of process it a lot more. Marty and I have been talking about this, and for like Monster of the Week, which is one of the other systems we played that uses this framework, is you have to think of it like an executive producer or a show director. And I've been trying to think of this like an editor-in-chief of a comic book line. Like, just handle it that way. Think about the big picture. Think about describing everything as panels. Think about what it would be like in a comic book. You can do certain things in a comic book. You can't do certain things in a comic book. Movement can be hard to convey in a comic book, but you can do it so much better in this medium, but you still want to describe it like a comic book. So it's interesting and hard. It's interesting, and I think it can be difficult. But that is the most basic, boiling the game down to its most basic essence, is you're rolling moves. You have labels, which move up and down as you play. They aren't going to stay still. Now, the other thing is, because you're teenagers, you don't really have hit points. The game isn't going to encourage you to die. It's not, how many times does, like you can count the number of teen superheroes who have died on like your fingers. It happens, but this is not that game. Robin dies in a Batman story. Robin doesn't die in Teen Titans. Although, spoilers for Young Justice. The show. People die in that. And it's really sad. Garrett's come up with... What does Garrett come up with? Garrett's come up with Discus. A person who throws plates at supersonic speed. They could take on triathlon. And Marty has dubbed them the Olympiads. I don't think he is. I don't think the DO is still the editor-in-chief, right? He got canned, didn't he? Although he was also like president or some weird... He didn't have that title. Yeah, usually teen... Yeah, yeah, he was... yeah, spoiler. Yeah, he... Well, literally spoiler, not the concept of the spoiler. Yeah, Teen Harris did die a lot under his watch. Gross, Dan. Anyway, okay. So you don't take wounds, you take conditions. Which affect your labels. And if you take too many of them, you're just knocked out. You're knocked out. You're out of this fight. You're either literally unconscious, or you have to run away, or you are so overwhelmed you can't do anything. And then when you miss, every time you roll a miss, you mark potential. And that's how you advance. Because you learn from your mistakes. And when you advance, you get to do cool stuff. A lot of times it's taking moves from playbooks. You can... Some of your labels. You can unlock your moment of truth. Which is a big deal. It's up here. And then eventually you get... your advanced list. And one of them is just retire from the life and become... Or retire from the life. So you can just be like, I'm done being a superhero. It's too much. Goodbye. Or you become an adult hero, basically, and you're an NPC now. Like, you have left the team. You've Nightwinged it. It's, I don't need the Teen Titans anymore. You guys are great. Keep going. Here's a Robin to be in charge. Here's Cyborg to be in charge. But I'm an adult, and I'm going to go be an adult superhero. Or Wally on the Teen Titans. It's just like, I'm on the Justice League now, so I gotta go. Yeah, or Marty says you can either Arrowette or Nightwing. You can retire or become an adult hero. Garrett's next hero is, how about a dude that runs at amazing speeds and regularly skips eating days at a time? I call him Fast. Boo. Give yourself uninspiration. Okay. So there's that. And then here's the GM sheet that kind of helps you walk through some of this stuff. Unfortunately, some of the playbook moves are like, oh no, this is what you should do to them. I'm sorry. So, but yeah, make Halcyon City feel like a comic book, make their characters' lives super heroic. Well, this Fast would be a good nemesis for Le Zipper. So I made little fake trading cards for all the young outcasts, which I will share at some point. And I gave everyone a nemesis. Most of the nemeses were established, but I put as a joke on Zipper's Hunger. And then I was like, Hunger's a really good bad guy name. So Hunger is a real villain now and is Zipper's nemesis. My gosh, jeez. Yeah, apparently you're fighting the Olympiads next arc. Soup says, how about a super that uses poles to jump over things and is also great at breaking in safes called vaults? Anyway. Okay. So, yeah, these are kind of GM tips and references. Tells you how to basically what you should do to each character. How you kind of question them. How you push up against them. How you invoke the drama of this all. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and like heroes, villains take conditions before they're knocked out. So like Doctor Doom could take 5 conditions. But somebody like the Spot probably takes like 2 or 3. Marty says they're the Olympiads are clearly a state-sponsored team, but bad in some way, yet to be revealed, like Max Dillard's team in JLU, or the Dark Avengers from that era, or the Thunderbolts, who were a state-sanctioned team of lunatics. They were Colorado's team. Yeah, good luck, Denver. You got Venom protecting you. And this is full on I eat people Venom. Okay. They're probably all on super dope or something. Probably. Okay. So let's build characters, because I feel like I'm just kind of rambling and I don't know enough about the system to really go into it in depth. Soup says, I know the show is called Andy Makes a Friend, but how about Chat makes a supervillain team? Yeah, I mean, I'll add them to the list. Who do we have? Let's see, villains. I spelled Herald wrong, but okay. AKA Hell Copter. Okay, let's see. The Olympiads. We have Discus. We have Fast. We have Vault. We have Biathlon. And Decathlon. If anybody else can think, I can't spell. I'm a terrible speller. If anybody else has any other Olympic-based superheroes, feel free. The ping ponger? I don't know who else we can have. Oh, okay. Harold Copter is. Oh, so Hal Copter would be like Wally Wingfoot. He'd be, shot put. Jesus. Volley. I'm gonna go with a volley. So yeah, Harold Copter would be more like the Avengers pilot or whatever. Yeah, okay. So helicopter is someone totally different. Harold Copter. Silver Age buddy sidekick. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I realized I hadn't switched back over here, but I am typing over here. Track and field, Liz says. Track and field is pretty good. They're the Wonder Twins, basically. Let's see. God, this team's big. I mean, you kind of have to be, though, right? Track and field. They showed up in a Lily 2 appearance once or something, her and her crunchy Doctor Strange, who is Dr. Beyond. Minister of mysticism. Oh, that's good. I like that. What? Dr. Beyond's great. Oh, helicopter showed up. Okay. Where's Dr. Beyond? Dr. Beyond. Here we go. Minister of mysticism. Although, I PhD in numerology. I feel like I had thought of a different degree he could have. Oh, I can't remember. I'm sure it was communication. He's usually my joke degree for whatever reason. Communication, or women's studies. He took an online course in poetry. Okay, we got another one. Hold on. Let me go down to the. This is just chat creates a supervillain team. Although, okay. Internationally sanctioned. So it'll be like JLI. Or, some eras of the Avengers where it's like, well, you have to have, Red Guardian or, who's the... Is it Red Guardian? Who's the robot, or who's like the Iron Man on Justice League International who's Soviet? Because Red Guardian is there. Guardian is the Russian Captain America, isn't he? Is it Red Guardsman? Maybe Red Guardsman. Rocket's red. Thank you. It's Rocket. I knew I should have just looked at chat. So yeah, maybe this is like the IOM or the Olympic organization. They've created a team of superheroes, but actually they're being manipulated by probably the same organization. They kind of suck. Internationally sanctioned super team. Posing as good guys. Okay, wait. Yeah, man, I'll have to remember who Fast is, for instance. Let's see. Yeah, very Claremont. Who was the one? Russian meddler. He keeps getting banned. Okay. Let's see. We've been talking for 40 minutes. So, okay. I don't think this was actually a good preview for Masks. I think this was just us talking about superheroes, and that's fucking awesome. I was trying not to swear. That's flipping great, mate. That's great. I highly recommend it. There are going to be better videos for you to learn about the system, but I'm going to do character creation, and I do think that is helpful. I think it will help showcase a lot of what the system looks for, a lot of what it's aimed towards, and kind of what you can expect in session 0 leading into session 1. If you want to watch a session 1, again, we have Young Outcasts. I don't think it's a great episode. It's really fun. I'm still learning the system, and I will be continuing to learn the system after a 2-year break. But I think I've learned a lot as a game master in that time, and a lot about my players. So I think it will be better starting in issue 2. Plus, we ended on a cliffhanger, 2 years in the making. Okay, so let's create some characters. I have a little list of people I'm just going to knock off. Okay. Now, downside. Can I... These editable? No. Okay. So, hold on. Let's see. I have... Let me see. Oh, that's fine. Let me open up my drive and see if I have like a... Let me actually, hold on. Let me Google masks blank playbook sheet. But of course... Now. Oh. Oh, that's really cool, but it's not quite... Oh, nope. Sorry, I just opened a Discord link. Did not mean to do that. Well, I found one that's cool, but possibly too complicated. Okay, we won't note anything. We're just gonna walk our way through it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so as I said earlier, I don't want to repeat any of the young outcasts. So the young outcasts are Zipper is a legacy, Rook is a bull. She's a slightly... We tweaked her a little bit. She doesn't have like the bull is traditionally like super strength and stuff like that, and we instead made it more a living weapon because Rook is like a martial artist who's kind of trained to the point of deadliness but does not kill. And it's a lot of, like Karnak kind of stuff where it's like sensing the weak point, flipping people, like jujitsu, not literal super strength, just almost is like this slight girl just can use momentum and, physics in such a way that she's just calculating all of this and flipping you, even though you're 4 times her size. Rat Princess is the Janus, is kind of focusing on the duality of secret identity and hero. And then Lily 2 is straight doomed. Heckin' doomed. Marty, why do you keep playing doomed young women? Okay. So, I thought we'd start with, nope, Masks Playbook. Let's go. These are alphabetical, right? I do not. Sorry, bud. Okay. Let's start. I have a couple people in mind that I would like to kind of go through. Characters I am interested in, and we're going to create a superhero team. Obviously, folks in chat, give me input. Give me thoughts on this. We're going to need a team name by the end of this. So, we're going to start with the protege. Because I love Robin. I'm not writing that one down. I love Robin, so we're going to do the protege. In our superhero universe, and the Laughing Dragon in comics, LDI Comics, our Batman analog is a woman named Blackbird. I think it's Bridget Winslow, billionaire karate enthusiast. She has several sidekicks and wards. Rook, Cece's character that I was just talking about, is one of them. In sort of the Cassandra Cain Batgirl model. Blue Jay, I believe I mentioned Blue Jay before. Blue Jay is sort of Nightwing. He helps lead some of these teen teams. He's the go-between for the young outcasts and other heroes, and he was a former young apprentice of Blackbird. But I'm going to make the Tim Drake of that group. His name is Sparrow. I have decided his name is Sparrow. So, for Sparrow, there's a little look here. Yeah, Nightwing or Blue Jay rides a slick motorbike. So some suggestions on look. I think he'll be a young man. I maybe a different race. I usually play white people because I am a white person, but yeah, maybe something else. I don't know. Lean body. I think he's not terribly jacked. He's athletic, but lean. School uniform for sure. He goes to some fancy prep school that he, smarted his way into. And then a colorful costume. I think I decided it was like yellow and red. So taking some of Robin's colors, but the lesser used ones. Is yellow a lesser used Robin color? No, it's not. It's fine. Okay. You are someone's protege. Your powers largely mimic theirs, but each of you is in some way unique. So pick one ability you both share and one ability for each that is uniquely yours. So shared ability, let's see. I think shared ability is detective skills. My ability would probably be weapons. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so shared is detective. Mentor's ability is probably impossible fighting skills. And then own ability is, I think, weapons and gadgets. I would like it to be hacking, but I kind of wish that was both of them. But I think like Tim Drake is kind of portrayed in the more modern comics. He's like a little engineer. He builds things and stuff like that. And I think that's a more kind of, and almost kind of combining Robin and Blue Beetle, because Tim Drake was almost Blue Beetle at some point. Thanks a lot, Data Dio. That would have been rad. So I think something like that. I hope everyone thinks that's okay. Because then we have to pick our moves. So we get 3 of them. Okay. Oh no. First, I'm not going to pick labels. I don't think that's really important. I'd probably bring Savior up to 2. Or maybe Mundane up to 1. Okay. How did you meet your first mentor? How did you first meet your mentor? I had a backstory. I think... Oh, because I almost played this character. Hold on, let me see if I can find Sparrow's backstory. Let's see, Drive. Sparrow. I think that's what it was. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, okay. What I wrote was Blackbird created secret contingency tests hidden in computer programs distributed to high schools and universities through her, charity or one of her charity programs. She hoped to find new members once Blue Jay graduated to solo hero, and Sparrow was the only person to solve them and gained access to the Bird computer. Okay. Oops. So yeah, figured out who Blackbird was basically. Pulled a Tim Drake, a real Tim Drake. Drake is one of the most dangerous birds. No, and your costume's ugly. Hey. Whoa, Marty in chat. Whoa, who knew this billionaire karate enthusiast was also the martial artist vigilante who can afford all this cool stuff? All of it's suspiciously Winslow tech. He specifically in that comic says the most dangerous, not aggressive and mean. They are that, but you know, you can kick a duck. Like, I don't condone violence against animals, but they're not built predators. They're just mean. Like, they have flat bills. They can't peck you or anything. They don't even have talons. Like, they're not one of the most dangerous birds. Like, not even close. Dangerous to seaweed or to like lily pads, I guess. God, Brian Michael Bendis. Not every idea you have needs to be put on the page. And what was wrong with Robin? It's fine. It's not. I think he's Robin again anyway. Okay. When and why did you choose to? Just a small fish. Well, okay. Has girl ducks. But he's not fighting fish or girl ducks. He's fighting Dr. Light. Okay. Or fucking... whatever. Lady Shiva. Like, Lady Shiva is not afraid of a duck. Okay. When and why did you choose to train with them? Because they're freaking Blackbird. And it's rad as hell. I want to be a superhero. Why did they agree to train you? I already said why. Also, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Who else outside of the team knows about your training? I think other members, like Blue Jay, other people associated with Blackbird, maybe the honor guard. So they can all be like, really? Another 15-year-old boy? Okay. Weird, but okay. Why do you care about the team? Because they're my friends, probably. So yeah, is that the most original or greatest backstory in the world? No. I want to be Robin. Like, so, and yeah, this game lets you be whoever you want. You know, because they're playbooks and they're not character classes. They're clearly based on archetypes, like so hard. So someone like the Janice is Spider-Man. Is someone like the Doomed is Raven. Obviously, you don't have to be literally those characters, but you're going to be taking inspiration from them on some level. So embrace it. Be the cool hero you want to be. Be Squirrel Girl. Okay. I'm going to have to do that when we have all the teammates, which hopefully we'll get done. Protege moves. I get to pick 3. Been reading the files. You've learned about the superhuman world through your mentor's resources. When you first encounter an important superpowered phenomenon, roll plus superior. On a hit, tell the team one important detail you've learned about it. The GM will tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember. On a 10 plus, ask the GM a follow-up question and they will answer it honestly. I love it. I want that one. Captain, when you enter the battle as a team, add an extra team to the pool and carry +1 forward if you are the leader. I mean, I like Robin as the leader, but the other people I have on this team that I've been thinking of are going to way overpower him. So I kind of like that he's the leader even more. Like, he's not the strongest member of this team. Not by a long shot. But Robin's not the strongest member of the Teen Titans, but he's in charge. So Captain, I'm going to do that. And I think be mindful of your surroundings. When you assess the situation before entering the fight, you may ask one additional question, even on a miss. I think it's that one. I think it's... The other ones don't quite feel right. Partially because I kind of like when Batman doesn't always give very good advice. So seeking advice from my mentor is maybe not been very fruitful. Not that they're bad at their job or even bad heroes or whatever. It's just they're not. Oh, I like it when Batman's not always helpful. Like, he's super good at being the world's greatest detective, but that doesn't mean he always has the right information for what to do about that girl you like. Boy, he doesn't know. And then same down here, when you give someone the advice you think your mentor would give, I think that would just not be good advice. And I'm not one of those people who thinks like Batman is irrevocably broken. No, I don't think that. I just think that he also does not give very good advice sometimes. So yeah, I think been reading the files, Captain, and be mindful of the surroundings, because yeah, he's the smart one. He's the smart. Careful one. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Okay. And then choose up to 3 resources. Communicators, probably. I love communicators. A teleportal. That's pretty rad. And simple robots. Training robots. Now, I think a hidden base, communicators, and training robots. He's the Sokka of the group. Yeah. Okay. So we have our leader, the protege Sparrow. Next up, nope, wrong way. We're going to do the Transformed. You can recall a time not too long ago when you looked normal, when you didn't feel their stares, when you didn't hear their gasps, when no one thought of you as a monster. Those are the days, huh? I didn't read I will read the rest of these. I forgot to read the proteges. Okay. So once again, you can pick... I think the first 2 columns are the same for everybody, I think. And then it gets different from here. Strange eyes, upsetting eyes, piercing eyes, human eyes. I think human eyes. Metallic, scaled, alien, plated, untouchable, or molted flesh. Ugh. Terrifying costume, strange costume, unnerving costume, no costume. Cyborg doesn't have a costume. The Ben Grimm barely. I mean, he's wearing trunks. I guess he wears pants now, but he's wearing a trench coat half the time. So, the Transformed. We're gonna be crossing the streams here, because the rest of my influences are all Marvel. The aforementioned Ben Grimm. I like The Thing. I like the Fantastic Four, and I like The Thing. And I think The Thing obviously has a rich internal struggle. Like, that's his whole deal, is this man, this monster. And then you make that a teenager? Like, it's just heartbreaking more. Sorry, here's another villain from Garrett. Okay, a Roman dude that has really sharp hands. Caesars. You have to mispronounce Caesar, kind of. Oh, you have to say it a very specific way. It's not mispronouncing it. It's saying it with the certain emphasis on the right syllable. Okay. Oh, crap. Did I just do anything? Okay, we're good. Okay, so like I said, I kind of want to do Ben Grimm. So big, rocky skin. Abilities, you appear obviously and clearly monstrous. Your powers are tied to your appearance. Choose 2 and describe how they make you grotesque. So I think it's impenetrable armor and inhuman might. He's covered in giant rocky scales. Or he's just made of rock, like kind of concrete. There's a comic book called Concrete. But yeah, like Colossus or The Thing. So I'm just picturing a big gray slab of a man. Or woman. But I like some of these other ones. Plant affinity, Swamp Thing. Superhuman senses, I think you could just give that to like somebody like Swamp Thing. Technopathy, kind of go all end of Akira. Like, you know, just big, floppy, gross metal tentacles. Or cyborg. Transmuting flesh, like a Borg or a Borg, Liz says in chat. Transmuting flesh. Trying to think what that could be. I guess Metamorpho, maybe, would be a good transmuting flesh. Cyborg, yep. For technopathy. I guess Changeling. Beast Boy, rather. Beast Boy. But I don't think Beast Boy is quite... I mean, well, he doesn't let it bother him, is the thing. But the Beast is also another good example of this. Even before he was blue and furry, he did not look like a regular person. He had oversized hands and feet. Nightcrawler is another good transformed. Okay. Labels. Whew. Yeah, that's true, Marty. Beast Boy was on the Doom Patrol. Oh, Robot Man, another. All of the every member of the Doom Patrol is a transformed. Negative Man, Robot Man, Rita Barr, Beast Boy. But yeah, whenever I think of Beast Boy, I just think of a kid who just does not care that he looks like this. Like, he's like, I'm a superhero and it's rad. And, you can you can stare at me all you want. I don't care. Whereas Cyborg, people stare at him and it bothers him. Okay. Labels. Maybe pop up Savior to +1. Or drop one of these out of the negatives. Mundane wouldn't fit. Superior. I think Savior. I think I'd pop up Savior. Okay. Who were you before? I think just a regular teenager. Just a regular teen kid, boy or girl. When did you change? What caused it? I think radioactive concrete. I think I want it to be like full on Daredevil. Like you put your hands in it or something, like as a joke, and it was radioactive, and that somehow turned you into this giant stone person. Who outside of the team is helping you understand your new body? Maybe, okay. Maybe like Cyborg, your dad or mom is a scientist, and they're helping. He tried to write his name in radioactive concrete. Exactly. Maybe one of your parents are a scientist, and they're trying to help you understand what this is, and kind of, like I said, like Victor Stone's dad, or what's his name, Silas. Or Reed Richards, studying you, trying to figure it out. Your one of your parents are trying to help you understand this. Why don't you just try to hide yourself away? Because what's the point of that? Like you gotta try and live your life. And if you can help somebody because of this, that'll make it all worth it. You can be strong for people who can't be strong, even if they think you're a monster. Why do you care about the team? I think we're going to get to in a minute, but they get it. Even if Sparrow is normal, the rest of this team gets it. They get what it's like to be looked at like a monster. Okay. Oh, I also thought, when I was originally thinking of this character, I also thought if like Ben Grimm, they wanted to be like a pilot or something like that. Ben Grimm got to be a pilot before he became the Thing, and then Reed Richards made him planes that he can fly. If this kid is just a kid and he wanted to be like a pilot all his life, and then he becomes a giant rock monster, you can't fly a plane like that. Like, you need a super plane of some kind, and who's going to make him a super plane? Like, so I just thought that was sad. Another sad thing for this sad boy. Okay, transformed moves. Okay, let's see. I get 3. Ooh, wish I could be. I love it. When you comfort or support someone, if you tell them what you most envy about them, you can roll freak instead of mundane. One of Iceman's relatives, Antarctica, from Garrett and Chad again. So I love that. It's sad and I love it. Let's see. Be the monster. When you frighten, intimidate, or cow others with your monstrous form, roll freak. On a hit, they are thrown off and make themselves vulnerable to you, or they flee. Ooh. I don't know about that one. Let's see. Unstoppable. When you smash your way through scenery to get to or away from something, roll plus danger. On a hit, the world breaks before you and you get what you want. On a 7 or 9, choose one, mark a condition, leave something behind, or take something with you. On a miss, you smash through, but leave devastation in your wake. I am not my body. Whenever you take a powerful physical blow, you may roll as if you had 2 fewer conditions marked. If you do, on a plus 10, you must Oh. Interesting. If you do on a 10 plus, you must choose to lose control of yourself in a terrible way. So if you do really well, it's worse. Interesting. I think wish I could be, I am not my body, and coming for you. When you mark a condition, take +1 forward against the person you most blame for causing it. I think those 3. Also, radioactive concrete could be something slightly more serious, maybe trapped in it, I don't know. But also, the Golden Age Flash got his powers from inhaling hard water vapors, so superhero origins are inherently silly. Daredevil got hit with what? Radioactive trash? And that's why he has super senses. Okay. Okay, and a couple, we're gonna have to come back to these because, like some of the relationships and stuff like that. So maybe we can do one of them. Maybe Sparrow knew you before you changed. Maybe he was your high school buddy or whatever, and then you changed. Now you're both superheroes, and he kind of got to choose it, and you were forced into that life. And it kind of echoes like a Reed Richards Mr. Fantastic thing. A little less directly sad since Sparrow didn't cause this. Maybe he did, though. You don't know. And then okay. So next up, I'm going to... next up, I think you'll all see where this is coming from, and I'm just going to tell you. I've been watching WandaVision lately, as many people have, and I've been watching it a lot. I've rewatched it several times now. So the next 3 people are going to be Vision, Wanda, and Quicksilver. I couldn't not make Vision, because I absolutely love Vision, and I've always liked the Maximoff twins. So, we're going to do that. So they are... 2 of them aren't in this book, so let's do Wanda first, because she is. And we were on it at the very beginning. We're gonna pick the Nova for Wanda. I think there are a couple different options you could pick for her. One of them we will use for Pietro. Okay. Let me change that. Let me talk about it. So there are a couple different playbooks we can use for Wanda and Pietro. For Wanda, we could use the Nova. You're a font of power. Channel it. You can remake the world into exactly what you want. Unleash it. and you can do miracles. It's wonderful and terrifying. Lose control for even a second and other people get hurt. So there's the Nova. We could do the Doomed, but as I said, I don't want to repeat anything, and Lily too is a Doomed. Now, for Quicksilver, we could do, not the Doomed, we could do the Delinquent. You've got these cool powers, but everyone keeps telling you how to use them. You know what they need? Someone to give them trouble, to make sure they don't always get their way. And hey, you're the perfect hero to do it. So this is sort of, older. Well, Quicksilver's just always kind of been an asshole, but this is also very X-Men Evolution Quicksilver. Although he's straight up a villain in that, but he's just kind of a jerk. He's questioning authority, questioning, why is Captain America in charge? I'm clearly better. So there's the Delinquent. The other options are... that'll be Vision. We could do the Joined as one of the twins, but then they get the same powers, and I don't like that. So, is it Masks Unbound? Okay, here it is. The Scion. The Scion. You're the child. Not an acolyte, not a creation, just the friggin' kid of a true villain. And when anyone who knows looks at you, all they can see is your parent. Like, you don't even matter. Well, forget it. Forget that. You're out to prove yourself as someone different from them. And how better to do that than to be a superhero. So this one fits either Wanda or Pietro, because their dad's Magneto, except when it's not. Which is, I guess he's not their dad anymore, but screw that, it's cool. Their dad's Magneto. Although I've been reading old Wanda and Vision comics, and they thought their dad was the Whizzer for a while. Speaking of the Zipper, the Whizzer. And what a downgrade. Or what an upgrade to go from, well, the Whizzer's at least a hero, but Magneto's got household name appeal. Okay. And yeah, so for Wanda, it could be magical aptitude or cosmic energies. For Quicksilver, electrokinesis, regeneration would probably be good. I do mean Robert Frank. In the comic I was reading, they only referred to Whizzer as Robert Frank. Even Wanda, who is pretending that this is her dad, like, she knows it's not her real dad at this point, but he doesn't, and she feels guilty about it, so she is helping him do something, and she exclusively calls him Robert Frank, his full name. What do you think about that, Robert Frank? It's very weird. Okay. So, we have we have two options for each of them. So one of them can be a Scion, Quicksilver or Scarlet Witch, and then Quicksilver could also be a Delinquent, or Scarlet Witch could be the Nova. So what does chat think about that? An NFL analyst by day, a masked vigilante by night, using types of potatoes to vanquish evil. The Commentator. Does he fight NFL Super Pro? Look it up. Or Combo Man? He was a Combo, the pretzel snack themed superhero. He has bits of every Avenger. He has like bits of a bunch of Avengers, including like the Punisher's knees, and it's like, well, that's worthless. The Punisher has normal person knees, and he's like 70. Okay, let's do the Nova. Okay, let's do the Nova for Wanda. That seems to be the agreement, and then Soup says the delinquent for Quicksilver. Let me know how other people feel about that. Okay, well, here's the thing, though. I have thought about these less than Sparrow, and Granite was the last person. You can also use the Scion for Vision too, since in the MCU he has like 4 dads. Yeah, there is a where is it? This one I think really works for Vision, the newborn, because I think you are also created by a supervillain. Yeah, you can be created by a supervillain. But it could be, yeah. In the MCU, his dads are Thor, Tony, Bruce, and Ultron. And in the comic books, his dad is Ultron and Professor Horton, the guy who made the original Human Torch. Is it Phineas? I think it's Phineas. What also means his dad is like also Hank Pym, or his granddad is Hank Pym, I guess. Okay. Once again, I'm reading old Vision and Wanda comics, and Ultron 12 is in one of them, and he under his breath at some point like is like, "You don't know that, Dad." Oh, and Simon Williams as well, but I guess is Simon his dad or his like brother? His like twin brother kind of thing. But in the comic I was reading, Ultron has captured Hank Pym because of course he has, and he's like, "You don't know anything about me, Dad," like under his breath, and I'm just like, I freaking love petty Ultron. Like, and he calls him Dad, not Father, and I just think that's funny. Come on, Dad. You embarrass me. You're breaking so many rules right now. Not in front of my Ultron bots. Okay, so the Nova, I don't have a name for them, so if anybody has a good name for this knockoff Scarlet Witch, the Emerald Wiccan or something, I'm happy to hear it. Let's see. Dark clothing for sure. In X-Men Evolution, once again, she was all like gothy. I remember she wore a lot of black and a little red. She had a very short haircut, which she also sort of had in the 90s. And it didn't look good in the 90s. I remember it looking okay on X-Men Evolution. The Velvet Goth. I don't hate it. Oh, and Marty, you might know more currently than me. What's current Vision's deal? Like, does he have Simon Williams' brain waves again, or is he just a robot again? I'm sorry, a synthezoid. Okay. Oh, weird. Ew. What's in regards to what? The Velvet Goth or Vision's current state in the comics? I know Grim Reaper is traditionally mad about it. Grim Reaper is also a racist. He says some words in the comics I'm reading that I cannot and will not repeat. And he's also dating a woman who is black but is an albino, and he's totally cool with it because that makes her perfect, and it's super gross. Eric Williams is really gross, everybody. Keep doing that. Let's see. Okay. 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 No. You probably read that comic 4 years ago, or however old it is. So no problem. I was just curious. because I know they can never keep, well, and there was New Vision at some point. We're on a Vision tangent. We're not even talking about him yet. There was New Vision at some point where it was Iron Lad's brain waves and a rebuilt Vision body, but then he gets blown up in Children's Crusade, I think, and they use that to rebuild regular Vision. But then I don't think they give him brainwaves. It's just like, that's what makes him a person, everybody. Like, stop not giving him brainwaves. I should read the newer Vision run, but I'm afraid it won't be what I want, which is him being an actual person and not him pretending to be a person. He's a man with a synthetic body, not a man pretending to be a person. He does have feelings. They're just confusing. Anyway, I have complicated vision opinions. The show, WandaVision, however, is great. Okay. Abilities. Choose one option from the list below. Telekinesis and telepathy. That's kind of movie Wanda's deal before WandaVision. Biokinesis, whatever that means. Gravity manipulation, sorcery, elemental control. That's like 70s Wanda's powers. And cosmic energies. Well, Wanda sort of has like 4 of these. But I think sorcery would probably best fit Scarlet Witch. It sort of is what her modern power set is. In addition to her probability manipulation. And you could just, her hex bolts altering probability, you could just flavor that as a kind of sorcery, which I think is ultimately what chaos magic is, which is what she uses in Avengers Disassembled and Doctor Strange used in the 2000s. It's just messing with probability, but magic. Okay. Dark clothing for sure. The Velvet Goth. It could also just be the Goth. The Visigoth. Might be the Visigoth. What are the Visigoths even? I don't even remember. What are they? French? I think I'd probably increase danger. Or freak. When did you first use your powers? Let's make this full-on Wanda and Pietro. To defend yourself from Bavarian villagers. Who was the first person you accidentally hurt with your powers? The mayor of that town, let's say. Who outside the team helps you control your powers? Whew. I don't want to say Dr. Beyond, because that is Lil 2's thing. So maybe... I don't have much written down about some of these people, so let's say it's just... Let's say it's Athena. I have Athena written down. It's the goddess Athena. Why do you continue to use your powers? Because you have to make up for the wrong you've done. Why do you care about the team? Because they care about you. It's a place to belong. They understand your life. I think a lot of this is ultimately, why do you care about the team? Is, other than Sparrow, it's because they understand. It's, Quicksilver and Wanda join the Avengers because they get it, ultimately. Like, they don't hate them for having superpowers. They're not going to reject them. And they're not going to use them like Magneto did. Even though because the only reason they join the Brotherhood is because Magneto leverages them. I saved you, you owe me. So I just think that freedom to be with the people you want to be with, who also have superpowers. Let's see. Oh, you don't get moves, you get burn. So when you charge up your powers, roll plus conditions you currently have marked. On a hit, whoa. On a hit, hold 3 burn. On a 7 to 9, mark a condition. On a miss, hold 2 burn and mark 3 conditions. Ooh, that's bad. But if you missed, you're not likely to have a lot of conditions. But if you missed with 2 conditions, you're knocked out. Okay, choose 4 flares. Let's see. Reality Storm. You channel a destructive burst with your powers. Spend 1 burn to directly engage a threat. Using your powers, roll plus freak. Okay. If you do, you will cause unwanted collateral damage unless you spend another burn. I think that fits movie Wanda. So let's go with Reality Storm. Let's see. Shielding. You call up a fast protective shield to stop a danger. Spend 1 burn to defend someone else from an immediate threat. Rolling freak. I like that one too, just because, that's also kind of traditional use of Wanda's powers. She's altering the probability to make sure that laser somehow turns into a field of butterflies. It's that, that the giant missile heading towards you will stop all of a sudden and fall. So I like shielding. Let's see. Boost. Spend 1 burn to supercharge a teammate's efforts with your powers, giving them a +1 bonus to the roll as if you had spent team from the pool. I also like that. Again, kind of altering probability to help your friends. And then overcharge. You channel the full capacity of your incredible powers to overcome an obstacle, reshape your environment, or extend your stances. Spend 2 burn to take a 10 whenever you... I like it. So, okay, Reality Storm, Shielding, Boost, and Overcharge for this Wanda-esque person. You hang out all the time with, I'm going to say, R. Pietro. And you once hurt, let's say, Granite. But no, let's say Vision. Let's say you once hurt Vision. Or, no, okay, wait, better. You hang out all the time with Vision to blow off steam. You once hurt Pietro with your powers. Yeah. I like it. Okay, we still don't have a hero name or a real name, but we have the Velvet Goth. We could do that. The Visigoth, the Goth, the Silver Sorceress, Witch. Let's see if there's another word for witch that I'm just not thinking of. Sorceress, Enchantress, we can't use that. Occultist, Wiccan, can't use that. Hex, we could just call her Hex. I think that's a good reference. I kind of like Hex, but I mean it is a little on the nose. She-Devil, Hag. I don't think that fits. Let's see, which translate Latin. Bruja, or Bruja, Spanish for witch, / a vampire clan. Or Striga. Ooh. Madame Hex. Madame Striga? It's like... Or Lamia? Let's see. Bruja Rojo. Yeah, maybe they're Spanish. I kind of like Okay. Okay, so I'm going to write down a couple things. Let's see. Pardon me, that was my water bottle dragging across the thing. Where's my good pen? There it is. My good pen. It was free from a pizza place. It's my good pen. Okay, let's see. Wanda's the Nova. Let's see, we got Madame Hex. Velvet Goth. Bruja. Or Bruja Rojo. And Striga. Or Madame Striga. Okay. There we go. That's Wanda. So then let's do... Hold on. In between, let me read the last two supervillains Garrett has come up with in chat. Pardon me. Actually, have I read... Did I read... I read the commentator. Okay. An artist that goes out at night to cause mischief, never getting around to finishing their art. Sketchy. A horse trainer by day that calls forth the power of the gods to denounce civilization. The naysayer. It sounds to me like you have to run a game of masks, Garrett. And we're going to go with the delinquent for Quicksilver. Okay. I read that. You've got these cool powers, but everyone keeps telling you how to use them. You're the perfect hero to do it. And you're perfect the way you are. Okay. Laughing eyes, jaded. I think jaded or untrustful eyes, perhaps. Casual clothing, ragged clothing, rebellious clothing. Skimpy costume. Well, if it's a boy, I guess, what is it? Just a banana hammock then? Although I always wanted Cloak and Dagger. Cloak obviously has that, or Dagger has that ridiculous dagger cutout that would never work. But at some point, they switched powers, and it was implied that like that was always how it was supposed to be. It was that Tandy was supposed to have the shadow powers, and Tyrone was supposed to have the light powers. And like, it's one of the reasons why Tyrone was always hungry. It's because that power was never meant for him, so it was like imperfect. But I don't think anybody... It was at like the end of Spider Island or Spider-Geddon or one of the Spider-Man crossovers. I don't think anybody ever did anything with their switched powers. But I always wanted... When Tyrone became Dagger, I always wanted him to just have... He has no costume except for a strategically placed cloth dagger, like covering his swimsuit area. Like, that's it. Do it, Marvel. Okay. Your powers are messy, deceiving, or frustrating. You get 2. Whew. So none of these are quite Quicksilvery, but that's okay. They don't have to be 1 for 1. A lot of these are even Loki-ish. But teleportation, gadgetry and hacking, emotion control, illusions, psychic weapons, power negation. I like teleportation. That feels Quicksilvery. It's not super speed, but it's a transportation power. And then either emotion control or power negation kind of strike out to me. I kind of like power negation because maybe he can use it to calm his sister, like if she does kind of freak out, or it did hurt him once. Not in like a bad way, and I'm not trying to even paint Scarlet Witch as she has often been painted and is maybe being painted in the show as this person who's out of control with their powers, but she is a teenager. So, something, and her whole thing is basically building up Phoenix Force to explode. So being able to kind of turn it off, even being able to be normal, might be the only thing that Bruja cares about. And her brother can give it to her for a little bit. Can give it to Granite for a little bit, maybe. Okay, power negation. We're going to do power negations. Teleportation and power negation. Also, consider using speed / teleportation / quick thinking in clever ways to temporarily interrupt superpowers. Temporarily interrupt Super's powers. Yeah, it could be not literally power negation. It's he's preventing you from using your powers effectively in either like a Suki way from Avatar, where it's like all pressure points, or just literally like teleports, moves your hand up, kind of X-Men Quicksilver from the Singer movies. I never saw them, but I understand that he's kind of moving at super speed and moving things out of the way and stuff like that. So, yeah, and the other thing is, these abilities are not written in stone. The book tells you, do you have a different one? Just ask your GM about it. I think I would probably be like, you want to be a speedster? Yeah. You're not the Flash. You're Quicksilver. You can run across water. That's about as fast as you go. Still going to be fast enough to move somebody's arm out of the way while they're blasting something in the air or something like that. But you know what I mean. But that's a good way to look at it, Marty. Okay. This is Quicksilver. Superior goes up 1. Yep. He's better than you. How did you get your powers? Well, I mean, Quicksilver was just born with them. But he's also sometimes sort of, well, he's maybe not a mutant anymore or whatever. Because they got rid of all them cool mutants, I guess, who weren't X-Men. Maybe he got his powers from his sister. Maybe she was using sorcery and he got caught in something and it gave him superpowers. What do you do for fun? Probably pranks. Cool pranks. Who outside the team thinks better of you than you do? I don't know. I am picturing they're orphans because well, they're not orphans because they have Magneto, but they're the people who raised them are passed away, except for Bova. No Bova, no peace. Who outside the team? I have here Twilight, who is the Shadow, and maybe like one of the older kind of vigilante-esque heroes is like, yeah, that kid gets it. Like, oh yeah, I got hit in the head a lot in the 40s, but that kid, he gets it. Yeah, show it to the man. Who cares what Bastion says? I don't care that he's got super speed. Marty says, Torpedo Azul, the blue flash or blue blink. Yeah, I kind of like that they're Spanish. Like, okay. Let's see. And I like it because Quicksilver's blue, or sometimes green. But I guess blue is probably his more classic color. Like, he has a blue costume for a longer period of time. Or Parpiedos Plata, silver. Silver if you want to stay on one universe over motif. Yeah, okay. All right. /Plata. I like it. I like it. Why do you try to be a hero? Probably to protect his sister, but also because he is just better than you. Like, he's just gonna do it. Like, it's just, you need him. This team needs him. They may not think that, but they do. And why do you care about the team? Your sister's here, and she seems to like them a lot. Oh, also, I this does not have to be a boy. I think Quicksilver does kind of, I don't want to say work better as a boy because I don't think that's true, but because yeah, he might work just as well as a girl. I was thinking they could be identical twins earlier, but it's unnecessary because then there's only one girl on the team. Maybe Granite's also a girl. Yeah, or Sparrow. It it as Marty says, it feels like boy energy. Like it's not it's like a form of toxic masculinity. I don't think it's quite totally toxic because Quicksilver does have a heart. He's just annoyed with you. But he's still a hero. He's still an Avenger. Like, he's still doing the right thing. And then sometimes he's a sad single dad who embeds a bunch of crystals in himself to get time travel powers. Anyway, but yeah, I do think gender bending them could be fun. Just something different. Just kind of, just some real arrogant girl. Okay, delinquent moves. Choose 3. Criminal Mind. When you assess the situation, you can always ask one of the following questions even on a miss. How could I infuriate or provoke? What here is valuable to me? It's the best way in. I like that. I like that a lot. Marty, he's doing the right thing because it takes him in the same amount of time either way, and this keeps Wanda happy and the supers off his back. 100%. Okay, I like Criminal Mind. Are you watching closely? When you mislead, distract, or trick someone, roll plus superior. On a hit, they are fooled, at least for a moment. And then you get to choose one of these. And I kind of like that too. I am more clever than you. I'm going to trick you. And that's my whole deal. And then I don't care what you think. Whenever you reject others' influence, add +2 to your roll. Like, man. Yeah, I think that's what it is. All of these are great. And the thing is, like, going through this the first time, I was like, I don't want to be a delinquent. But now, when I started to think of it more as Quicksilver, it's like, I could be a delinquent. Like, I think I would rather be anyone else on this team, but I would be anyone on this team in a heartbeat. In a game. Yeah. Okay. That's Parpedo Plata. Oops. Let me check. Spanish real fast. Let me just check a word. Or Perpedio? What is it? Flash? I mean, I'm just using Google Translator. Oh, yeah, that's... There's also Destello, which also means flash. Oh, that's more Flash, sparkle, gleam. Okay, yeah. Okay. So that's we just have the newborn left. Vision. Our vision. This could also be a girl. Or non-binary. You're a brand new being created through. Although that might be. That could be interesting. I don't know. You're a brand new being created through scientific inquiry, a feat of engineering or random chance. This world is all new to you, full of wonder and adventure. It's not easy, though. Everyone has an opinion about who you are and what you should do. It's time to find out for yourself who you really are. So the other thing is that this doesn't have to be a robot. This could be something. This could be someone like Connor Kent. Like this could be a clone of a superhero who wakes up from a tube, Young Justice style, and they're just like, "What is this world?" Before I get started, let me read Garrett's villains from chat. They grew angry at always paying to check their luggage, so they've become an undead superpower to get revenge. Carry on. A pessimistic villain that can control the blood of any living creature. Be negative. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like crystal skin, metal skin, human skin, green skin. You could even be like some kind of like Beast Boy-ish person, I guess, or a Miss Martian. Although there is like an alien playbook in the first one that's like for Starfire or Miss Martian. Let's see, mismatched clothing. No, immaculate clothing. Immaculate clothing. Vision wearing clothes is my favorite thing about WandaVision. I'm only mad that there's no cardigan Funko Pop, because he puts on a cardigan in one of the episodes. He sometimes falls over. Okay, he's okay. Okay. Over the top costume, like a Vision costume. Because one of my other favorite things about Vision is he is wearing a costume on top of his skin. Like, that's not what he looks like. He's just all red as a robot. He puts on the Vision costume. Like, that's... at least in the comics. In the movie, he comes out all red, and then he builds himself a costume. But then he's wearing clothes over it now. But, although we haven't seen him in his costume yet in the show. We know it's coming, but... and Wanda barely has a costume. But it's fine. I actually like her costume. I would prefer the head crown, but I'll take what I can get. If they just add the head crown, I would be happy with that. I would be perfect with that costume. He did. He made himself a cape, like Thor. But I guess in the comics he just wears a cape. But I always love how they draw Vision, because he's always like under the cape, like Batman. I don't know. I always like that. Okay. Your powers are based on your unique physical configuration. Choose two and describe how they are part of your body. Elemental form. The original Human Torch, perhaps. Sonic bursts. Super durability and strength. Solid light projection. Green Lantern powers. Fantastic elasticity. The Metal Men. Or one of the Metal Men. Is that tin? Or aluminum? Yeah. and thermal control. I think super durability and strength. I just like that. I want my robot to be tough. We're going to need a name for the robot, too. Android. A name for the android. But I don't know what other powers. I don't quite know, like, elemental form. Does that mean you can... Do you have the powers of the Fantastic Four? Are you kind of super Skrully? Or, like, Hydro Man or Molten Man? Or Sandman? Or the Whirlwind one? Sorry. My mom just texted me. It was not important. Well, I mean, never mind. Maybe all of the above. I would love all of the above. Oh, yeah. I just, it's vague enough that you can just do whatever you want with it, I think. But is that what we want? None of these are intangibility, which is a bummer. But do we also want? I mean, we changed Quicksilver slightly. Maybe we can change Vision slightly. Solid light projection might be interesting, just because, like, it's like, you have to use your, like, kind of like your imagination. Like, that's why Kyle Rayner was always, a good Green Lantern. It's because he was an artist. Like, that's what they always said. So he was very imaginative. But, John Stewart had, like, he was an architect and a soldier, so he could, like, very matter-of-factly build his light constructs. So it would be more like that, but maybe sort of as the personality of this person, oh, that's a good point, Marty. Maybe as their personality grows, they can kind of project more elaborate things. But Marty's saying maybe elemental forms like stone and wind as density, like turn to diamond, become as air. Oh, I like that. And Liz says, sounds like you can make holograms like Pearl and Steven Universe could. Yeah. Turn off notifications for now. Although I have to wrap it up because it's just about 2 hours and my voice is dying. Okay, I think I'm going to go elemental form. I think Marty convinced me to do that. But I do like that. It's become rock hard, become like wind, but then also maybe do some kind of fire mode like the original Human Torch. What are the other elements? Rock, wind, water. Shoot water out of your hands, or ice or something like that. Just use them creatively within kind of your scope. So as I said earlier, Sparrow, the Robin of this team, is vastly underpowered compared to the rest of the team, where you have super strong person, our Quicksilver, our Papedo. I took Spanish. I should know how to say these words. Parpedo Azul is probably, if he's not super fast, or she, then maybe not as powerful. But okay. So we'll do super durability and strength and elemental form. That elemental form I also feel like lets you fly, and I'd like them to be able to fly. So who created you and why? A supervillain. For supervillain reasons, I think we should say. Maybe it's a mystery who created you. So maybe the heroes just found you. And I believe maybe this newborn can control the air around them. They can supercharge the air for fire, freeze it to create water, make it super dense for stone. Supercharge it with electricity, maybe. I like that, Liz. Yeah. So, but that's yeah. It's controlling sort of the maybe they have like a sphere of exertion kind of thing where they can control in a certain area around them. Oh yeah, so we're not going to get to it at this point, but there was a bunch of questions you have to answer as the team when the team first came together. As the newborn, you weren't you weren't part of that original mission. They found you during it. So in our example, in the Young Outcasts, the original mission resulted in a person, the former leader of the team before Rat Princess took over, Psy Shadow, getting abducted by the bad guys, and there was this whole thing. They were freeing human traffic, or they were rescuing teens who were being locked in shipping containers. So for our robot here, they would have been like locked in one of those shipping containers. So let's say in a similar scenario, they're fighting. This group is fighting in a lab, like it's kind of a giant evil corporation lab, Viv Vander's lab or something like that, or our version of Hydra. And they find this stasis chamber, and they let this robot out, and they don't know who built it. Maybe it was Ultron, or maybe it was Miss Menace, I think is sort of like a Doctor Doomy person. Or there's a bunch of future androids. Maybe it's one of them, or like just Dr. Dinosaur. It could be a bunch of different evil mad scientists, and no one knows who built it, and they rescued them. So I think who created you and why, I think that's something that I personally would be like, GM, you figure it out. Like, I am going to hand that part of the backstory to you. I don't want to know why. I want that to be part of my story. How are you different from humans? I think you have to learn emotion. It's not that you're incapable of it, but you're like a baby. You just don't understand it. So you're kind of like Starfire, too. You just don't understand human culture. You're fascinated by it, but you don't get it. It's never gone wrong for... No, it's never gone wrong for anybody I can think of. No. T.O. Morrow, that's who. We need to think of a F.U. Chur or something. Okay. Who outside of the team is your caretaker? Maybe another robot? Maybe they were like, there's some other robot, or somebody from the future, maybe, who's like, I kind of understand robots. Maybe it's the Warrior, who's like a woman from the future, and she has a robot arm, and she's kind of Wonder Woman-y, so maybe she'll be like, yeah, I'll take care of it. It's weird, but we kind of know how robots work. What about humanity fascinates you the most? How they obsess over things that are seemingly pointless. And gossip. Why do you care about the team? They care about me for some reason. And I want to understand why. Okay. What about humanity fascinates you the most? Bruja Rojo. Yeah. She's so pretty. And Spanish. Okay. I get 2 of these. I get 2 moves. Ooh, a mind of their own. Let's see. Your powers evolve and mutate. When you're facing an obstacle or threat that your powers may not be able to deal with, you can mark a condition to gain brand new abilities adapted to the situation. You lose these new powers once the danger is gone. That's interesting. Not from around here. When you act clueless, goofy, or confused to get out of a sticky, mundane situation, roll freak. On a hit, you create an opportunity, a distraction, or a plausible excuse. On a 7 to 9, the super adaptoid. That is the super adaptoid. The GM shifts one of your labels. I think I like not from around here. And I like a mind of their own. Well. Ooh. Thermodynamic miracle. When you comfort or support someone by telling them what makes them unique, roll plus freak instead of mundane. If they open up to you, shift freak up and mundane down. If they don't, mark a condition. Okay, I think I actually like, I don't know why it's called thermodynamic miracle, but I like that one. And regeneration. Oh no, I don't think I like regeneration. No, that's what happens to Vision, and I don't like that. No, so damage. Okay, so thermodynamic miracle and damage. Okay. We don't have time to go through anything else right now. But if people thought this was interesting, I can come back at a later date and kind of finish creating the team, going through the next couple of steps, and also maybe getting into the rules a little bit more in depth as well. But I hope that character creation shows you something about what the system is about. I think it is a good preview of the things this system cares about. It's not a lot of crunch around superpowers. You know, it's you pick a generic superpower suite, and then you use them in whatever way you think is relevant. Your GM will kind of mediate that, but it's not saying, you know, oh, your electricity powers give you +5 to hit water and water enemies and robots. It doesn't care about that. It's all about how you feel, your labels, how you see yourself, how you feel, and how others feel about you. If you're interested in more about masks, Young Outcasts returns on March 1st. This week is Task Force Unlikely on Wednesday. Come join us as they have to deal with Shemeshka trying to escalate the Blood War. Luckily, Task Force Unlikely has a little backup. And finally, the last villain from Garrett, it's Ramrod Dude. An older gentleman that only pays for things with loose change, but has the power to confuse his foes by speaking the incomprehensible. Nonsense. And on that note, have an excellent night, everyone. Be kind, wear your mask, wash your hands. We love you.